In 2026, the professional landscape operates in a state of hyper-optimization. We treat every unread message, every project deadline, and every minor deliverable as if it were a high-stakes survival event. When a routine Tuesday meeting is processed by the brain as a threat, the nervous system pays a literal biological cost. Cortisol floods the bloodstream, and the body initiates a fight-or-flight response just to look at a spreadsheet. This manufactured pressure creates a condition known as social ego paralysis. Instead of executing the task, the worker freezes, terrified of how the resulting output will affect their digital perception and social status. The modern workforce isn't struggling from a lack of ambition. People are paralyzed because society demands they extract profound personal meaning from mundane, microscopic administrative tasks. How do you escape this crushing gravity of expectation without abandoning your professional ambitions altogether?
The traditional psychological instinct is to double down. Conventional advice suggests that to cure burnout, you need to find your why and attach an even deeper sense of purpose to your work. But injecting additional heavy meaning into an already overstimulated mind has the opposite effect. It just adds more weight to the system, accelerating the biological burnout and freezing the ego completely. Ancient philosophies were designed for a completely different scale of suffering. Around 300 BCE, a wealthy merchant named Zeno lost his entire fortune in a shipwreck off the coast of Athens. That extreme physical loss became the foundation for Stoicism. Centuries later, psychiatrist Viktor Frankl developed logotherapy. Looking at this portrait of Frankl, we see a thinker who believed human willpower must be harnessed to fill the bleakness of life with meaning. Frankl's framework was forged during his time as a prisoner at a concentration camp. These environments represented literal life or death deprivation, where finding heavy meaning was a required mechanism for physical survival. That is the crucial distinction. Classical philosophy used deep meaning to survive true, agonizing deprivation. In 2026, workers are suffocating from the exact opposite, an overdose of artificial, manufactured meaning in an environment of total physical safety. High-performance nihilism functions as a strategic tool for psychological liberation, operating entirely apart from clinical despair. It starts with applying the memento mori framework as a cognitive filter. By remembering your own mortality, you ruthlessly separate actual physical consequences from the manufactured anxiety of social status. This animated diagram plots an 80-year human lifespan, highlighting a single work project. Against the universe's massive timeline, that deadline shrinks to an infinitesimally small dot. By processing this scale shift, the narrative changes to "none of this remains," and fear evaporates. Embracing existential indifference generates light, frictionless movement. It actively cures the heavy biological paralysis of the modern performance prison by stripping the ego of its leverage. The Stoics believed in logos, that the universe operates on a strictly rational, mechanical web of cause and effect. Everything is just a process. Combining the mechanical nature of logos with existential indifference triggers the dead man working state. It is pure, raw execution operating flawlessly without emotional context. The internal mechanics of this state are highly efficient. The ego vanishes. The future narrative is deleted, locked into the immediate tactical present, entirely without distraction. Operating with this ruthless, cold output renders a person biologically immune to external praise or digital criticism. There is simply no ego left in the room to injure. This creates an interesting paradox in cognitive performance. You are caring intensely about the immediate, mechanical process of the work, while caring absolutely nothing about the external outcome. Dividing the mind this way eliminates the friction of fear. When the outcome doesn't matter, the brain stops wasting processing power on anxiety and redirects all its energy into superior cognitive execution. Contrast this light, frictionless execution with the heavy burden carried by classical Stoic leaders like Marcus Aurelius, who relied on immense resolve to manage the extreme pressures of the Roman Empire. Deploying strategic emptiness grants a person radical, untouchable freedom from a culture that demands constant concern, without rendering them cold or broken. But the dead man working state is a specialized tool, not a permanent residence. You must safely transition out of that heavy work session and return to normal life. The return involves living on borrowed time. Paradoxically, by fully accepting your own cosmic insignificance, you generate a profound, renewed sense of gratitude for the present moment. This methodology builds a sustainable, long-term routine. It allows you to produce high-intensity, competitive output at your desk while completely detaching your personal worth from the results. In an era suffocating from overstimulation and manufactured stakes, refusing to play the game of heavy meaning creates a decisive edge, but the optimization culture cannot replicate. You secure your highest performance the moment you embrace the void.